Eddie House is in the house, 11 NBA seasons. Okay,
what up?
We got breaking news.
I know.
Time out. Let's do it, John.
Breaking news.
Chris Paul out. What's it mean?
Everything.
Everything.
It means everything. Chris Paul was the pit bull out there last couple games, and you take some of that toughness away, and the guy makes big shots. He made a lot of tough big shots yesterday, a lot of them.
By the way, he's their best defensive guard. He's tough. He's the yeller, screamer on the court. Sometimes Harden can be a little aloof. He's the communicator on the court. He's the quarterback. He's taking the shots. He's the yeller. He's the tough guy. It's not just losing a player. It's like losing an identity. Like he has been the identity in the last 2 games in the second half.
I'll tell you what, though, too. As much as I was talking about how James Harden, being the best player on the team, needs to lead by example.
Right.
He needs to be the hardest worker defensively. Last 2 games he's been playing extremely good defense. Is that a reason why he's been kind of slacking a little bit offensively? Right now he can't win because people talk about his defense first. Then now they're talking about his offense. But I think he's been doing a great job defensively, setting the tone early. You look at that Game 4 game where he had the rip on KD.
Yeah.
Top of the key, played the pass lane, got 2 big steals. I think you need things like that moving forward. But without Chris Paul, it's a
Who do you like in the series now?
I still got to go with the Warriors. Until you defeat the champs.
Okay.
Until you defeat the champs, you got to roll with the champs.
First of all, if he can't – here's what's interesting. So Rocket fans didn't want to hear Warrior fans make excuses about injuries when Andre Iguodala couldn't play and Clay was hurt.
Right.
Every Rocket fan's like, I don't want to hear about excuses. Okay, Rocket fans. Well, you're just missing Chris Paul. You still have Trevor Ariza, Harden, Mike D'Antoni, Clint Capella, Eric Gordon. I mean, you got all. I don't want to hear any excuses. Listen, man, sometimes pro sports is about attrition. The Warriors were banged up early in the series. Chris Paul's now hurt. And by the way, if he's not playing in Game 6, he's not going to be 100%.
Game 7.
You don't think he's playing Game 7?
I mean, if he's not playing in Game 6, then especially the hamstring. You know how delicate that is. If he pulled his hamstring, he's not going to be able to go on for Game 7.
Okay, let's shift gears to this. If you've not heard, Chris Paul is out Game 6. Good Lord, is this a game changer? I will say this. They're stacking these games like every other night, 1 day rest. I will say this. Some of these guys look tired. Boston, Cleveland both look tired. Chris Paul's getting hurt. Andre Iguodala's hurt. Sometimes maybe 2 days rest in between these playoff games. I know everybody complains about it. These teams are playing hard for 40 minutes. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So I was talking about Kevin Durant. So this is the second best player in the world. Best shooting big in the game maybe ever. He's up there with Dirk Nowitzki, Larry Bird, puts it on the deck, can shoot mid-range threes. Last 2 fourth quarters, 8 minutes to go last night, 8 minutes to go previous game. Eddie, he is invisible. He's not part of the team. Come on now, you got it. He didn't take a shot in the final 4 minutes 2 games ago. Where was he for 8 minutes? He
was on the court, just he wasn't involved. Do you give Houston credit defensively for that? You can. Or do you take credit from KD and say, hey, he's not playing hard enough. He's not wanting it hard enough.
You got to go get the ball. You got to go get the ball. You got to move. You know this. You were a scorer. In the last 7 minutes of a game, if you were 6'11" with your shot, could I take you out of the game?
No.
No, you.
He could go wherever he wants to on the court. He could point, say, I'm going right here. There's nothing anybody could do about it. He'll be able to get his shot off. Does it go in? 50-50. But he'll be able to get a shot off. I think if you look at what's really been happening to the Warriors, though, is they've been turning the ball over. The big 4. They got – I got some, I know you like stats. So you flash graphs. If I had a graph crew, I would have them throw this graph up there. But I just have my graph right here on my paper.
Okay.
So they have 26 in the last 2 games, 26 turnovers out of the team's 32, the big 4. And out of the big 4, one guy has the most, and that's Draymond with 11 out of the 26.
Why is he
in
handling
the last
the ball?
2 games? He's always handling the ball. But this is the thing too. I think they're not sharing the ball like they used to. Golden State is a beautiful brand of basketball we all come accustomed to watching. They move their bodies, move the ball. You look at, they only had, on Game 4, 12 assists on 30 field goals. That's not a Golden State team. You look at Game 5, 18 assists on 32 field goals. That's not a Golden State team. That's where Steve Kerr is saying, hey, let's get guys involved. Let's stop doing. I think he sarcastically said, this is where the league's going now with the ISO. I think he was talking to his team.
Saying basically, fellas, this isn't even who we are.
Right. We need to move the ball, move our bodies. And I think that's hurting. Giving the other team extra possessions, and that's taken away from you having a chance to get in your rhythm offensively and not playing your brand of basketball. I think that's why you see KD is kind of confused. And Kerr going up to him telling Michael got guys involved early. Maybe getting to him a little in his psyche a little bit. You know, he's starting to think, and you can't play thinking. You have to react playing basketball. You think out there, but for the most part, you just react. You don't want to come down.
Great athletes are instinctive.
You don't want to be predetermined, like, okay, I'm going to come down, make this dribble, and then I'm going to pass to this guy. That usually ends up in a turnover or a failed play. So I think them not playing, you got to give Houston credit as well, because I think they're bullying the bully now. You know how Draymond goes out there being physical, and I think in the Game 4, one of the most, and if Houston wins this, you could say this is the play that changed it. The dunk on Draymond Green by James Harden. That was going right at the bully, saying, I'm not taking it. And now, from that point on, they are the more physical team. And we all know that bullies don't like to get bullied. That's the one thing you...
By the way, when Evander Holyfield got up to Tyson and punched back, Tyson couldn't handle it and bit his ear off. Bottom line is Mike had been a bully his whole career, and Evander Holyfield wasn't having any of it, and hit him back and crowded him and hit back and could take Tyson's punches, and Tyson didn't like it. It was the first time nobody backed down from Mike Tyson.
Yeah, you see how
it got into his head.
Responded to that. Yeah.
He got into his head. Okay, let me ask you. This Boston thing's pathetic. They're 10-0 at home. They win by an average of 12.5. They go on the road. They're not only 1-6, they should have lost their one win. They were down. Philadelphia, J.J. Redick had a brain fart. What is it about Boston cannot even compete on the road? They're out of games 8 minutes in. Did you like playing on the road?
Yeah, I love playing on the road because we were able just to lock in, and it's just us against everybody else. There's no outside interference. People not calling, asking for tickets. You don't have to worry about making sure that your kids are there, everybody's there, got there safe to the game and things like that. You could just focus on, hey, this is our task at hand. This is my job. I'll be in for X amount of minutes. I got to make sure that I'm on point. And, you know, it's not a bad thing. It looks bad on paper, but the year we won it, we didn't win in the first two series. We didn't win a road game at all. We were 0-6 on the road. We lost every game on the road versus Atlanta. Went 7. We won that series. Against Cleveland, lost every game on the road. Went 7. We won that series. We didn't win until we went to Detroit. We got 2 wins in Detroit and then 1 win in L.A.
Why is it so? I mean, are you intimidated by fans? Why the rims are still 10 feet? How can you have these wild mood swings? I think for us, we were playing, but we were going against other teams that had pros on their team, too, that were trying to win, trying to move forward. It wasn't like it was just a cakewalk, and we should have just walked through these teams. They had pretty good players on their team at the time. Joe Johnson was on Atlanta. Mike Bibby was on Atlanta. Josh Smith was on Atlanta, left-hander.
Yeah. And Childress was on it. Horford was on Atlanta. Then we know what Cleveland had that year. So those were tough teams. I think that for the young guys, maybe they missed their special, sometimes you have a pregame meal, the same one. I used to have the same one. That can throw you off, man. You want your rhythm. You are creatures of habit, and you want to be comfortable when you're doing what you're doing. And sometimes that can throw you off. I'm making no excuses.
Mommy, I didn't get my sea bass before the game. Come on, man. You're a professional millionaire athlete.
The bed might be too stiff.
Come on.
Might have your lower back hurting a little bit.
Come on. All right, Eddie House, good seeing you. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.